NBC4, Storm Team 4. And we're going to talk about Tropical Storm Isaias. I know a lot of you may have had trouble pronouncing that. It took me a few days to get it right, but that's our tropical storm, Isaias, which is now about to make landfall near the Carolina coast pretty soon. But first, let's talk about the weather that's in our area right now, because we have some things to deal with right now, which are severe thunderstorms. Not having to do anything with the tropical system, but there is tropical moisture that's being enhanced here. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now in effect for portions of Monmouth and Ocean counties. That's until 8 o'clock. This area of severe storms pushing through the region right now. So we're watching that very carefully. And we just want to let you know that if you live in Monmouth, southern Monmouth, and parts of Ocean County, that severe thunderstorm is rolling in your direction. And that warning is in effect until 8 o'clock. There could be more storms coming in from the south and west for the rest of this evening and tonight. There could be more severe storms. This is all before the tropical storm even makes landfall. So we'll deal with that tomorrow. So right now, in terms of what's likely in those areas of South Jersey, lightning, of course, destructive winds possible, 60, 70 mile per hour winds, and maybe a bit of flash flooding too. So just be on the lookout there across southern New Jersey, the Jersey Shore, for these storms coming through this evening. Now, the impacts from our tropical storm. Isaias will make landfall tonight and arriving in the tri-state tomorrow. It's going to make a landfall near Myrtle Beach area. For us, it's going to mean flooding rains, flash flooding possible. It's also going to mean big surf and a lot of wind. So 2 to 4 inches of rain possible for most areas. That would include New York City. The farther east you go across Long Island, less than 2 inches. The farther west you go into New Jersey and up to the north and west in the Catskills, Poconos, and Hudson Valley, more than 4 inches possible. And that's why the flash flooding would be an issue. Also, river and stream flooding is a possibility too. And winds 50 to 60 miles an hour with gusts up to 70 along the coast. That's where you may see the most prevalent wind. So right now, the storm center is circulating just to the east of Charleston and is moving north towards Myrtle Beach. They've been getting some rain bands throughout the day, and they are also getting some pretty significant rain bands farther to the west now, over parts of upstate South Carolina and over towards Augusta, Georgia. That's detached from the circulation a bit. But so the heavy rain and the winds are strong and the waves are high in that region as the storm makes landfall in the next few hours. Top winds now from the 5 o'clock advisory at 70 miles an hour. There's still a chance this could increase to hurricane status before it makes the landfall. There's still a slight chance for that. It's moving off to the northeast and is starting to pick up some forward speed. All right, so the track will take it inland tonight and then right into our area tomorrow afternoon. So that's the main impacts will happen, let's say between noon and midnight, the major impacts. There might be some minor impacts before that and after, but in the afternoon tomorrow is when we expect to see the biggest impacts with the wind, the rain, and the surf. Tonight's forecast, we're down to 74 degrees, scattered showers and storms. The severe possibility is not directly associated with Isaias, but be on the lookout for severe storms tonight and overnight. And then tomorrow, it's all the tropical stuff, tropical downpours, gusts to 50 miles an hour, maybe even 60, 70 miles an hour in some areas. And yes, the likelihood of more severe weather embedded within those cells, within those rain bands that come through. Even though the storm is going to move through quickly, could have some tornadoes or maybe some spin-ups and some wind damage. Flash flooding, one of the major impacts, depending on where you are. Farther west you are from New York City, the more likely you will have the heaviest rain amounts, but you can still have flash flooding even with an inch or two of rain if it falls all at once. Destructive winds of 50, 60 miles an hour may be higher at the coast. Storm surge up to 2 feet and the possibility of tornadoes. We have the coastal flood warnings now and advisories in effect for Long Island through the back bays into New York Harbor, as well as Long Island Sound. That's for high tide areas, for high tide times on Tuesday evening. We have the high surf advisory for south and east facing shores, Long Island and the Jersey Shore. Waves will be extremely high. Now the surge will be up about 2-3 feet as the water gets pushed in, but the wave heights 10 to 15 feet possible on Tuesday for Long Island. And a high risk for rip currents. I'm sure beaches will be closed and showers and thunderstorms. And the Jersey Shore 6 to 10 feet there. So you don't want to be at the beach at all. In terms of other areas and conditions and impacts. For New York City, roughly around 2 to 4 inches of rain. There could be some flash flooding in the city. 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts are possible as well. Long Island, you're not looking at as much rain, but you're looking at more wind and waves, 10 to 15 feet, like I just said. And Jersey, storm surge, 1 to 3 feet on top of, those waves that you're getting and those 60 mile per hour gusts. Here's the hour by hour forecast for tonight, for Monday evening. It's pretty quiet except for those storms to the south of us, moving across south central New Jersey and the Jersey Shore. And then some more storms start to pop up and develop around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And this also is detached from the tropical system. That rain mainly stays set up to the west. That's why they're talking about so much flooding, because there's going to be an axis across the Delaware water gap where there's going to be a ton of rain even before Isaias gets here. And then it arrives 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Those areas shaded in purple and pink will be the heaviest rain. Allentown over towards Clinton and central New Jersey too, and maybe even parts of Long Island for a brief time. Then by 7 o'clock, it's all shifting to the north through the Hudson Valley. You'll get your chance to get some very heavy rain. And then after that, the storm moves into New England, and we'll start to see the impacts winding down from the system. A brief look here at Point Pleasant Beach. I want to show you what the waves look like there right now. They're pretty calm still, but that'll change in about 8 hours. And those dark clouds that you see there are blowing off from the thunderstorms just south of Point Pleasant Beach. So could get some stormy weather there too. Tropical storm warning is in effect for all of New Jersey, all of Long Island, the city, lower Hudson Valley, and Connecticut. North and west, you have that wind advisory. You're still going to see strong winds, 60 miles an hour in places like Pike County, Sullivan County, Ulster and Dutchess counties. So you're not under a tropical storm warning, but you're under a wind advisory. So it's kind of the same. You can still see tropical storm force winds. So let's look at those gusts that we're expecting. They'll be on the lighter side to start out in the morning. They'll start to ramp up late morning. And then by 5 o'clock, look at these winds. 50, 65, maybe close to 70 miles an hour. Jersey Shore to Long Island. Maybe even inland too, White Plains up towards Poughkeepsie. See, very gusty. If you have things outside of your house or your apartment that could blow around and cause damage, then you'll want to bring those things inside or tie them down, because you don't think a tropical storm can produce that much. If it's not a hurricane and you think, oh, no big deal. Yeah, it can still be a big deal, especially with the rain too. At 7 o'clock, we still have those stronger gusts. Look at this, Bridgeport at 83 miles an hour. I mean, this is going to be rough, these winds across the area. And the storm center will still kind of be over us, but just away from center is where you'll see the strongest winds north and east. By midnight, they'll start to die down and they'll be more offshore. And of course, by Wednesday morning, everything is calmed down. Flash flood watch is in effect for most areas except Nassau and Suffolk counties, because we're not expecting as much rain for you. Your impact will mainly be wind and waves and surge. Look at the rain amounts now. You can see from the city to the east, it's less than 3 inches. And you go farther east, it's even less. From the city to the west and north, it's a lot more, 4 or 5, maybe even up to 6 inches in some spots. Back to that severe weather right now. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 8 o'clock. That's for Monmouth and a little sliver of Monmouth and parts of Ocean County. You can see the storm rolling in there right now. Probably just north of Point Pleasant is where it'll clip. It might just clip Point Pleasant Beach, but there that storm is. With that particular storm, you can expect some lightning and destructive winds. There could be 70 mile per hour winds within those little winds in those cells. And that area of southern New Jersey, likely to see some severe weather possible for the rest of this evening. Flash flooding might be possible too. In terms of Isaias, we've got landfall tonight in the Carolinas, somewhere between Myrtle Beach and Wrightsville Beach. It arrives in the tri-state area tomorrow. We'll start feeling the impacts before, probably around the time the sun comes up or just after, particularly along the coast first. The rain, the heavy rain, is going to come later in the day. 2 to 4 inches in most spots, but upwards of 6 inches west of New York City are possible. Wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour, maybe hurricane force winds, 70 plus. That would be near some of the shore coastal areas. Look here at the radar and satellite of Tropical Storm Isaias. It is spinning northward, could still become a hurricane before it makes landfall. It's pretty close to land now, and so we're watching that carefully. Here's a look at the 5 o'clock advisory. There's going to be an update at 8 o'clock Don't know if we'll be able to get that in, but top winds are at 70 near the center with gusts probably up to 80. And now here's a look at the track. So the storm will roll through the Carolinas tonight and then inland and through our area tomorrow afternoon. So our biggest impacts will be felt in the afternoon for about 6-7 hours. Between, say, 2 p.m. and about 8 p.m. we'll have the biggest impacts, and then it'll start to dwindle or die down slowly. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible, mainly across South Jersey, Jersey Shore. Could be some severe storms like what we're seeing right now, and maybe some rain in the morning in the city, too. Then Tuesday, we get the tropical downpours, the tropical storm force winds, maybe close to hurricane force gusts, and possibly even tornadoes might spin up out of some of these rain bands. That happens a lot with tropical systems when they move inland. So there is a possibility of tornadoes tomorrow in our area. Definitely lightning with some of the thunderstorms, destructive winds, and flash flooding. 2 to 6 inches of rain in that short period of time will cause some flash flooding. And maybe even river and stream flooding, creeks. If you live in a flood-prone area, when it rains and it floods where you live, then you should probably consider moving to higher ground or knowing where you could be to get away from it. Remember, do not drive a car through a flooded road. When you can't see the road and there's water on the road, you might think you know how deep the water is, but people get caught in it all the time. It's dangerous, and many times people have to be rescued. So even in a tropical storm situation, just turn around, to go the other way. Destructive winds 50, 60 miles an hour. Shore area storm surge, upwards of 2 feet above dry land, what would normally be above dry land, maybe even 3 feet. And with the waves coming in, that'll be a little bit higher. Tornadoes are possible on Tuesday. Coastal flood alerts are in effect Tuesday evening right now for New Jersey and across parts of Long Island too. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay. And also through the Back Bay areas of New York Harbor and Long Island Sound. And we have the high surf advisory in effect for the immediate south and east facing shores. Waves in Long Island 10 to 15 feet are possible. Thunderstorms throughout the day, or especially in the afternoon. And waves of 6 to 10 feet for the Jersey Shore. High risk of rip currents. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me in this update. And keep it right here. We'll always update you on our social media pages, on our website, nbcnewyork.com/weather. On NBC4, I'll be on tonight at 11. So stay safe, everybody out there. And thanks for joining me.